Hello, Keith Rucker here at VintageMachinery.org. Guys, today, going to be doing a little something different. I'm going to be giving an injury update on my injury that I had this past week. If you watched my video this past Friday that I put out, at the end of the video, I shared with you guys, kind of had to cut my project short because I had a little accident out doing some yard work and fell and hurt my hand. And when I left, I think I came in, I was pretty bundled up in a sling. It looked pretty serious. I had just gotten back from the doctor and kind of wrapped things up for the day. And fortunately, things look a lot better now and feel a lot better as well. So let me kind of give an update of where we are and where things are going, because I have been to the doctor and kind of got some news to share with folks. So first off, in case you missed it, last on Thursday afternoon, I'd had some lunch. I went outside. I was going to do a couple of quick chores out in the yard, doing some yard work. There were some sticks and limbs over kind of in a Pine Island area where the trees and stuff fall down. And I've been wanting to get things picked up and put out on a burn pile. And I said, you know what? It's only going to take me 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes max. I'll have this knocked out. Let me just go get it done. So I went outside and started working on it. And lo and behold, while I was out there, I was picking stuff up, and I got my feet all twisted up in a bunch of the limbs and stuff that I was trying to work around, that I was trying to pick up, and I took a tumble. As I fell, I was kind of falling in this direction. I put my left hand out to catch my fall, and when I did, my hand kind of went up underneath me. I kind of mashed it sideways, and I also landed on some sticks or brush or something, I don't know what, and it cut the top of my hand pretty badly. And when I got up, I was bleeding like a stuck pig, and I was hurting pretty bad from my hand. Came down to the shop because it was within 100, well, yeah, it was within 50 yards of the shop. And since I was bleeding so bad, I decided to come down here and clean it up rather than go to the house. Plus, I got a good first aid kit down here in the shop. So I came down here and cleaned my hand up, bandaged it up, and I said, you know what? Pretty sure that's going to need some stitches. I went on to the doctor. I really wasn't that worried about what turned out to be a fracture at the time, but I was more worried about the cut, because it was I had a puncture wound, basically, had cut myself pretty good. So I went on to a little quick care place here in town, and they spent pretty much the rest of the afternoon up there. They got me sewed up. They also did an x-ray, and in the x-ray, it was pretty clear that I had fractured one of my fingers. I'm calling it my pinky, but it was really down farther in my hand part. So it was, and I'm not a doctor. I don't know what the correct term for that is, but that one of those bones down there was fractured. It was not broken, clean through. It was in place. Everything was in proper alignment, but it was fractured. Well, they put me in this big, massive splint, or it wasn't a cast, but they kind of molded a plaster thing to me. It was kind of like a cast, but it was just wrapped up where you could take it off. I had my whole arm in there. They had me in a sling, and I showed my video, and yeah, I looked like I'd broken my arm and everything else. They told me they were going to refer me to Ortho, the orthopedics. Let me go see the doctor there and get his opinion. Of course, this happened. By the time I got wrapped up, it was 5 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. So I said, well, yeah, they're not going to call me. Maybe if I'm lucky, they'll call me on Friday and I'll get an appointment sometime the following week. Well, I took matters into my own hand a little bit. I had a connection. Years ago, I used to work as an extension agent, and one of the things that we had in our office was the 4-H program, and I had some really awesome kids come through our 4-H program back in those days, and have remained friends with many of those kids, watched them grow up and work professionally. One of my former 4-Hers, a young lady that was one of my exceptional 4-Hers, she went on and actually became a veterinarian. She's now working as a veterinarian, but she married another former it wasn't one of my 4-Hers. He was in a county just north of me, but married a 4-Her up there who actually went on to medical school, and he became an orthopedic surgeon. And he practices here in Tifton. I called up my former 4-Her, Rachel. I told her what was happening. Actually, my daughter called her because they're friends. They went to school together, and we're in 4-H together. Told her what had happened, and she told her husband, and basically he said, be at the office 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'll get you looked at. So Sometimes living in a small town has its advantages, and this was one of those cases where it had a little connection. So this happened on Thursday afternoon. On Friday morning, I was at their office at 8 o'clock, and I was out of the office by 9 o'clock, and they had looked at my x-ray. The doctor came in. He looked at my break or my fracture. Basically, he said, it's not that bad. He said, yes, it's fractured. He put me in this little hand splint or brace or whatever you want to call it. This kind of has my finger immobilized over here, and it's kind of up against the other finger to give it some support. But he actually told me, he said, when you're around the house, just take the brace off, move your hand around some, keep it, where you can move it or whatever. He said, don't be afraid to, move it, not really use it, but, move it around a little bit. And I'm going to tell you, over the last couple of days, I'm shooting this, 3 days after the accident, and I'm actually can use this hand pretty well outside the brace. Even in the brace, I've gotten to where I can use it pretty well. I'm not up to doing any work with it and not pressing my luck and even going to try to do any work with it for at least a little while, give it a chance to heal, but it is doing very well. So great news from the doctor. My plan is I'm actually got to go out of town later this week, and I'm going to be gone for several days. So that's going to give me a chance to not be out here in the shop. I'm basically going to take this week off, and at least from doing any work out here in the shop. I say that I may come out here. I've got one little project that's pretty light duty that I think I can do with my right hand. I may try to do that later in the week. I'm not going to promise it, but I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys. Probably not going to see any videos from me for about a week, at least a week, maybe a little longer than a week. We'll just kind of play it by ear and see how it goes. But all in all, great news from the doctor. Not expecting anything. He says, no, he says, unless I do something stupid and really screw this thing up, there's no need for any kind of surgery or anything like that. So right now it's kind of in my hands to not do anything stupid, not do anything crazy and injure it worse, which I'm liable to do because that's just my nature. I don't sit around in front of the couch and relax very well, which is what I need to do right now. I'm one of these people that I have to be busy doing something all the time, or it drives me absolutely bananas. And I'm just going to have to take a little bit of a vacation, I guess you could say, a little break. And unfortunately, you can ask my wife, that's not easy for me to do, but that is the game plan. We're going to take a little bit of break out here for a little while and give this break a chance to heal and then be able to get back out here in the shop. But I do not anticipate right now this being any kind of a long-term problem or whatever. So I did want to give that update and kind of let you guys know what's going on. Thank you for everybody who sent messages or comments or whatever. It does mean a lot to me to know that so many people are concerned. I post some stuff over on Facebook and got hundreds of responses. Very, very nice to know people are concerned about me. While we're talking about injuries and stuff, there are a couple of other things that I want to mention, and I actually mentioned this briefly in my video the other day. My good friend and someone that I know many of you guys probably have seen in my videos or even watched some of his older videos is Mike Wiggins, who's lives not too terribly. He lives over in the Savannah, Georgia area. It's a couple of hours from me, but I've known Mike for a really, really long time. We've become good friends. We've done a lot of things over the years. Mike actually had a pretty bad fall in his shop. He was out in his shop and got tangled up in an air hose and had a pretty bad fall back around Christmas, New Year time frame, and he broke his tibia. He actually had to have surgery on that. He had surgery this past week. I have been in contact with him since the surgery. He's doing very good. He's going to pretty much be off of his feet for 3 to 6 months. But I know Mike, when I first met Mike, he had actually fallen off of a roof while he was building his shop, and he had really messed himself up bad. In fact, the doctors told him he'd never walk again. But when I met Mike, he was in a wheelchair restoring machinery. So that's just the way Mike rolls. He's going to get out there. He's going to work. He'll do what he needs to do to protect his leg, but he's going to be out there as soon as he possibly can, I'm sure, working. He's actually doing a big shop addition right now. He's adding on to his shop, and he's doing some really cool things. He hasn't been doing videos much lately, or at all lately, but he is still being very active. So yeah, keep Mike in your thoughts and prayers. And another one that I want to mention, and some of you guys may know this or seen it around, it's again not a secret, But Richard King, who many of you guys may recognize the name, he's the one that taught many of the scraping classes that I taught back several years ago. He came into my shop. I think we had 4 or 5 scraping classes, or maybe 5 or 6 scraping classes here in my shop, and there were a couple of other of his scraping classes that I went in and helped him with down in Florida and some other places. Richard is, very well known in the scraping community, one of the guys that has been teaching it for a long time, and really probably has done more to bring scraping back and as far as teaching people than a lot of people out there. Richard had a stroke, unfortunately, I think it's between Thanksgiving and Christmas. It was a fairly significant stroke. He was in the hospital for quite some time. I've been in touch with his son, Alex, and Richard is improving. He's getting a lot better. As of last week, the last update that I got, he was out of the hospital. He was in a nursing home, but they were anticipating that he's going to be able to come home in the next couple of weeks. He is basically having to relearn how to walk and talk and everything else. Last word I got was, he's basically was getting to the point where he could get up and down on his own. He could go to the bathroom by himself or with minimal help. And he was also starting to be able to kind of talk a little bit more and more, get his, talking skills back. At first, he was not be able to do much of that at all. So he is showing signs of recovery. I don't think they know right now how much long-term damage he's going to have. I don't know whether he's going to be able to get back and teach anymore in the future. It's kind of all a big question mark right now. But he is improving. And again, I know many of you guys know Richard personally, may not have heard the news, but I wanted to share that as well because Richard, he's been a great mentor to me, has taught me an awful lot about scraping and machinery building and a lot of the skills that I use and a lot of the skills that I share with you guys, I learned from him, and I'm very grateful to him for that. And anyway, just sad to hear that situation, but like I said, he is improving and getting better, but I just don't know right now what his long-term prognosis is going to be as far as being able to be back, and teaching and so forth like that. So time will tell. So there you go. Quick medical update. I feel like this is the prayer request time at church, or you're going down the prayer request list at Wednesday night at church or something like that. Everybody and their ailments, this fall thing, guys, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. That's for dang sure. I'm getting older, and years ago I could have fallen off the roof and bounced and gotten back up and been fine, and now I can't even fall out in the yard without breaking my hand. So that's just reality, I guess. It is what it is. We'll make the best of it, but shouldn't slow me down too long. Hopefully we'll be back out here making videos, bringing content back to you guys, and so on. So anyway, just wanted to give an update on myself as well as Mike and Richard as well. So guys, with that, that's a wrap for today. We'll be back soon. Like I said, I don't anticipate any long-term issues, me not being able to get out here and do stuff, but I am going to just take it easy for a little while, give my body time to heal, and get back out here hopefully soon, back on the Stoker project and many other projects I got going on need to get going out here. So we'll be sharing those with you as we get to them. With that, guys, we're going to sign off. We're going to get out of here. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Those who help support the site financially through Patreon, PayPal, again, that helps out a tremendous amount, particularly now that I'm retired, and this is basically my full-time gig. So this is where I'm earning my income and making my world is in the YouTube world and in this videoing world. So it helps out a bunch. Anything like that helps out. Leave those comments. Again, that helps out as well. And yeah, with that, we're going to sign off, get out of here. We'll catch you on the next video. Be back soon. We'll see you real soon. Thanks.